Israel makes a huge mistake by attacking Yemen's pilgrimage flights. The Houthis are preparing thousands of missiles to rain down on Tel Aviv. The last commercial plane belonging to Yemen Airways was destroyed right on the runway, not because of an accident or bad weather, but due to an Israeli airstrike. What makes it worse is that the plane was supposed to transport civilian pilgrims, fathers and mothers who were getting ready to perform Hajj. Now all that's left might just be burnt luggage and shattered dreams. The Houthis didn't stay silent. An official warning was issued. Mehdi al-Mashhad, the Houthi president and also a key figure in Hezbollah Tahrir, gave a strong warning: a major catastrophe will hit the heart of Israel.
A major catastrophe will hit the heart of Israel.
This wasn't just empty talk. It was a declaration of war. So, what actually happened? Why was a plane meant for peaceful purposes targeted in a military strike? In this video, we'll reveal a series of Israeli air raids on Yemen. Who were the real targets? What was the motive? And how serious is the Houthi threat of a disaster striking Israel? Because this isn't just some local conflict anymore. It's about human lives, sacred places, and destruction that could spread beyond borders. It happened in seconds, but the impact might last for years. On what was supposed to be a peaceful day, the sky above Sana'a was torn apart by a loud explosion. The main target? Sana'a International Airport. The strike was precise, hitting with multiple airstrikes. The main runway was damaged, the control tower collapsed, and the terminal building was badly hit. In the middle of the smoke and rubble, the Yemeni plane that was set to take pilgrims went up in flames. Thankfully, there were no casualties. Passengers had been evacuated before the attack. Still, it caused widespread panic. Make no mistake, this strike had serious consequences. Sana'a Airport is the only active international airlink for the Yemeni people, who have already been isolated for years by war. Now that sole lifeline is completely shut down. Humanitarian aid? Blocked. UN medical logistics? Disrupted. Pilgrims? Stranded. But why Yemen? To understand why Israel would strike Yemen, we have to look elsewhere, toward Gaza. Since the conflict in Gaza flared up, Yemen's Houthi group has openly declared its full support for the Palestinian people, not just with words, but with action. They've attacked Israeli-linked ships in the Red Sea, and in early May, they escalated further. For the first time, they targeted Israel directly, launching missiles at Ben Gurion International Airport near Tel Aviv and sending 2 projectiles toward Israel on May 27th. While Israel's air defenses stopped most of the attacks, the message was crystal clear. The Gaza war now echoes across borders. Israel didn't respond with words. They launched airstrikes deep into Yemeni territory, aiming at any assets that might support military logistics. Israeli fighter jets struck Sana'a International Airport. But instead of hitting military targets, they ended up destroying civilian infrastructure. Reportedly, 4 Yemeni commercial planes were destroyed in 2 waves of airstrikes in May, 3 early in the month, 1 later. These were the very planes that were supposed to fly people to Hajj. Because of this, hundreds of potential pilgrims were grounded. The airport was crippled, domestic flight routes were cut, and the Yemeni people, already living under siege and civil war, found themselves trapped yet again in a crisis they didn't start. Iraqi Hezbollah Tahrir called the attack cowardly and illegal under international law. They warned the world to brace itself. A major disaster is coming for Israel. At the same time, according to Israel Cuts, a local news source, the message is simple. Anyone who fires on Israel will pay a heavy price.
Anyone who fires on Israel will pay a heavy price.
But the Houthis aren't bluffing. Senior Houthi official Mehdi al-Mashhad went straight to the bombed-out Sana'a airport after the Israeli strike. On camera, he made one thing clear.
We will not back down. We will not surrender. The Zionists should expect a hot summer.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has warned that even Israel's advanced air defenses aren't invincible anymore. Not even the shelters can guarantee safety for Israeli citizens. Mashhad also said their air defense systems are now ready to deal with stealth aircraft like the F-35, and that Yemeni missiles have been engineered to strike deep into enemy territory. He even warned civilian airlines that still land at Ben Gurion Airport.
You're within our reach. Stay alert.
His message was loud and clear. Tahrir in Lebanon doesn't just talk about supporting Gaza. They're promising action, and they say they're ready to deliver a painful surprise. This is getting intense, but it looks like the Houthis aren't the only ones furious. Tehran's anger is boiling too. The Iranian government harshly condemned the Israeli airstrike on Sana'a airport, calling it a blatant war crime. According to them, it's not just a violation of international law, it's also an attack on sacred values and human dignity. Don't forget, this airport was supposed to carry pilgrims to Hajj.
On the diplomatic front, there was also a firm statement from Hans Grundberg, the UN's special envoy to Yemen. He warned that the ongoing military confrontation between the Houthis and Israel is only making an already fragile situation in Yemen and the region even worse.
And now, under the international spotlight, a big question is being raised. Did Israel just break international humanitarian law? The answer might be yes, because the target wasn't a military base or a missile depot. It was Sana'a International Airport, the only functioning civilian airport in Houthi-controlled territory. According to international law, especially the Geneva Conventions, civilian infrastructure like this should not be attacked unless there's clear and undeniable evidence that it's being used for military purposes. So far, no such evidence has surfaced. No drone sightings, no satellite footage, no declassified intel. Nothing shows that Sana'a Airport is being used as a military base. Now compare that to Ben Gurion Airport near Tel Aviv, the one the Houthis targeted. Even though it's labeled a civilian airport, multiple international reports suggest it receives military shipments from Israel's allies. That means the legal status of the two airports isn't the same. But here's the bigger concern: the humanitarian fallout. Yemen has been stuck in a brutal crisis for nearly a decade. Over 4 million people have been displaced and millions more rely on international aid. Now, with the last remaining air route destroyed, things are spiraling fast. Humanitarian agencies warn that if Sana'a Airport is fully disabled, food, medicine, and medical evacuations will come to a halt. So this isn't just a military attack. It's a lifeline for millions of civilians that's been cut off. And one thing is crystal clear: the Israeli airstrike on Sana'a didn't weaken the resistance, it fired them up. Top Houthi leaders say this is just the beginning. A counterattack isn't just possible, it's in the works. And this time, the targets won't be random. Reports suggest Israel's critical infrastructure is now in the crosshairs. Power plants, strategic ports, and major transportation systems could become the next flashpoints. Regional fears are growing. Will Iran get directly involved if the conflict keeps escalating? Could Hezbollah in Lebanon open a new front? And will the US get pulled back into another Middle East war along with its allies? One thing's for sure: this attack didn't shake the Houthis' support for Palestine. For them, Gaza is a red line, and they've vowed to stand with the Palestinian people at any cost. This is a new chapter in a war that's no longer limited by borders. One missile could ignite a region. One airport strike could unleash global chaos. One act of defiance could reshape the resistance. The Houthis won't stay quiet. They won't bow down. And they're not backing off. The world is holding its breath. Is this the turning point, or the start of a summer